Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Full Circle. I am Lexie Brown.
And I'm Mariah Rose, and we have so much to talk about today.
So much. First and foremost, though, we, Miss Paris, France girl, how was your trip? Oh my gosh, it looked amazing.
Yes. Okay. For those who don't know, I just got back from a brand trip with Nike in Paris, and it was absolutely sick. I feel like I was running around the whole time. We went to a football game, not American football, the real football. And then we went to the NBA game that was happening in Paris. So it was a lot of fun. And I went a little viral for starting a whole debate, I guess, on X/Twitter.
Mariah, Little Miss Viral over here.
First of all, okay, I had never been to anything like that before. The fans in the US are not like they live and breathe their sport. And I think part of the reason is because I feel like in the US, we've kind of priced out some of the real diehard fans with how expensive it is to go to these games, you know? So experiencing real fans that live and die by this team, insane.
Yeah.
But I don't know, everybody's like mad because they're like, no, football's the same. No,
I saw that. You know what's funny though what's funny about viral moments is that I saw that video on your account and it was like doing his little 1-2, like nothing crazy. And I saw it on Twitter or on X, and it was like millions and millions of views. And I was like, oh no. I don't think people understand is videos go on TikTok for a reason and videos go other places for a reason. So it's like when I saw it on X, I was like, oh, they finna be mad about nothing.
Like nothing. I knew something negative somehow was going to come from it, but it's cool. I mean, then I went back to my page and the video has like 6 million views and I'm like, what are y'all doing here? But most people have been nice to me this is my first viral moment where most people are nice to me, but everybody's been debating which is the better sport. What sport in the US do you think have the best fans, Lexie?
The best fans? I might have to go college football fans. And then college basketball immediately after, only because they go sit outside in the cold. Like, that's a different level of dedication. And they paint their bodies and they have the chants. I would say college football fans might be the closest thing to the overseas fans. I went to one overseas basketball game, men's basketball game, when I played in Israel. And they had flags. There was little flamethrower things. They're doing the cheers. Like when you said in your video, when did they rehearse this? Like, it's crazy. But yeah, I would say college football fans, they got it. Y'all got it.
I would say going into women's basketball, I feel like college fandom just in general is so much bigger than professional fandom because like I'm a huge Georgia football fan because I went to Georgia. So while I may never be Atlanta Hawk or an Atlanta Dream, I can be a Georgia Bulldog because I went to school there. And I feel like that's part of this resurgence that women's basketball is having, that we get to see you guys in college for longer and follow your stories and follow these rivalries and storylines. And so when you get to the W, I already know who I'm rooting for.
And I think that was also the most amazing thing about this past season was seeing that rookie class not only get drafted, be successful at their respective schools, but coming into the W. And, you know, whether they had good games, bad games, they were in the games. And people were able to follow them and root for them and follow their rookie seasons. And I've always preached like that was the bridge that was missing between the W and college, is players would get drafted, be at the top of the world, be at the Final Four, and 3 weeks later, they're at the end of someone's bench. And then they're like, oh, everyone's like, where did so-and-so go? I just saw her at the Final Four. I just saw her in the national championship. Why is she not playing? And then 5 weeks later, they're like, oh, okay, on to the next. And, you know, I think that's one of the best things that came out of this past season is seeing not just like the top picks, but like across the board, all the teams were utilizing their rookies and their fans and their fandom. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. So it was really special to see.
Well, it's also like, if you're not playing when you first get to the W, how are you supposed to catch up?
Well, I could tell you because I happen to be. Well, for one, going overseas, you know, prior to a few years ago, that was literally the only way you would keep yourself ready to come back to the WNBA, get to a training camp and, try and fight for your spot on the team. But gratefully, now we have all these other options stateside that allow players to get ready, whether they're rookies, whether they're in year 9, 10, across the board. Like we have opportunities here, which is a great segue into Unrivaled. A little bit of Unrivaled talk. Were you able to watch any of the games? I know you were gone this past weekend, but did you get to catch opening weekend?
Yes, I love it. I thought 3v3 would be a little more confusing for me, just, because I don't play.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it as much, but it's so much faster pace. And I see how you always say that you can see someone's skill more
Yeah.
when they're playing
Yes.
3v3 because it's really a lot of one-on-one.
Yeah.
And so that was a lot of fun for me. But before we get to Unrivaled, I do want to ask about your time in Nashville because you're there. I mean, there's other options to play stateside too, and you're experiencing one of them. So I just want to know how it's going.
Yeah, so I just got to Nashville a few days ago to start Athletes Unlimited. We don't start playing till first week of February, so we have a little bit of time. By the time this episode drops, we will be done with our media day, so the content will be on the way and coming. We are definitely stepping it up. I'm really excited. So we have scrimmages this week. We have a loaded roster. I'm a captain this week, guys. So it doesn't count, but I get to be in my little captain coaching bag, GM bag this week. So I was looking at the roster today, trying to figure out who I'm drafting. And this roster is insane. I would be like, oh, I want to pick this person. I'd go through the roster and be like, oh, wait, we have her too. What? So I'm so excited to build this team this week. Obviously, it's going to be suitable to how I want to play, which is fast and shooting a lot of threes. But I get to do that because I'm in charge. So I'm really excited, and I'm really excited for everybody to be able to watch us in 2 weeks, I think. Yeah, about maybe less than that. So yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I'm so excited. I'm excited to see the media day content too.
Oh yeah, I mean, they've already put some out today, and it's already better than last year, and I'm just really happy. I think that's one of the best things about AU is that they really listen to our feedback. They listen to the players' feedback, and this year we really made it a priority to have a very amazing media day with great content. We have makeup artists this year. We got content in our jerseys for the first time, so we're really excited. I'm really excited for you to come see and experience this in person and do all of the things in Nashville.
No, I can't wait. I feel like with these off-season domestic leagues, one thing we've seen is players get so excited about having the opportunity to not only do what they want to do and get to play how they want to play, but also be heard more. Because with players having so much power in these off-season leagues, I feel like it's okay, we know what we've been needing, what we've been wanting for so long. We get to kind of experience that with Unrivaled, with AU, and everybody's like, yes, I'm so happy I'm getting to do
we
what I
get
want.
all of the things. Everything that we've always wanted, asked for, players before us wanted, asked for, worked so hard to get, and now we're here and we're able to do it for ourselves. And not have to depend on this larger organization that we quite literally have no control over to give us the things we want, the platform that we want, give us the things we need, tell our stories the way we want to tell them. It's like a women's sports renaissance we're going through right now, and Unrivaled AU is in the middle of it. WNBA is also in the middle of it. I don't want to, shit on the WNBA because at the end of the day, that's the league that we all play in. We love the biggest league, longest running women's basketball league. So I want to say this about the WNBA is we got to stop comparing and just be happy that all of these things are existing simultaneously, because Unrivaled isn't the W is in AU is in Unrivaled. We're all separate, but we're all collectively trying to grow the game and leave it in a better place than we found it. So I think the comparing and stuff, the more we do that, the worse off everyone's gonna be. So I think we all can just be happy and exist where we are right now, not look ahead to the W season. They got to do this, we got to do that. Like, just enjoy what we're doing now and be excited for what's coming. And I think that's going to be the way everything grows more rapidly, I think.
I think I've definitely fallen into that too, because it's like you see you guys saying, "Oh, we're getting like makeup artists and we love our content so much but it also you got to remember that it's like the W is your professional league, the one that people are seeing all over the world, the one that is like at the highest of pedestals. They have like sponsors they got to answer to. It's completely different. So like you said, they're completely separate.
Yeah. Not saying the W don't got work to do, because they do. Don't get me wrong. Like,
we're gonna get off the W's neck for a second.
Like, don't get me wrong. There is work to be done, but let's appreciate everything that's going on. And I think that will elevate the women's game even more than it already has been elevated.
But also, I think it does benefit hearing what you guys are enjoying about your off seasons and what you're doing for the W, because it does allow them to see that and get ideas.
I hope they in there taking notes. I hope they have a notebook full of notes, because it's only been 2 weeks of Unrivaled and we haven't even started yet. And it's just the things I'm seeing people tweet about, say on air, players, like you said, it's just like, I'm just glad more players are more comfortable coming out and saying these things. Sometimes you might not get the outcome that you want, but if you feel strong and you feel powerful in those statements, that's really all that matters. And whatever happens afterwards, it's sometimes you just be like, it's above me now. I said what I had to say, and hopefully it works out for the best.
Speaking of Unrivaled, though, what have been your takeaways?
It's very fast. Everybody is on an island. It looks amazing on TV. I love the jerseys. I love how everybody looks. Everyone looks great aesthetically, and I think that's important to put a good product out. I actually have some rankings, if y'all care, of my Unrivaled, because
100%.
I've been tapped in. Like, even though I'm not participating, like, I think it's an amazing thing. So after 2 weeks, this is my Unrivaled list ranking. Okay. At number 1, we have the Lunar Owls. At 2, we have the Laces. At 3, Rose. 4, Vinyl. 5, Phantom. And 6, Mist. And I will give Mist a little grace because they've been dealing with some major injuries. But that is my week 2 ranking, if anybody cares. I've watched almost every single game, and it's been very fun to see all the other players playing on different teams together. Like, it's been kind of like a mind game, kind of like, because it's not all-star, but it's like, okay, but like, y'all are not on the same team in the W, but you're on the same team now. And what y'all talking about down there, because it's free agency time, right?
That's a good point.
So I'm like, what y'all?
Let's not say too much before we get people investigated for tampering.
Right. No, if people are not already putting in complaints about tampering after what happened yesterday, then I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I'm really excited for agency. I personally have never experienced free agency. I've only been a spectator. But it's always been a very exciting time in the W.
For those who don't know, can you walk us through, I think you had some interesting things that happened that will affect you yesterday. Mm-hmm. So can you walk us through yesterday?
So yesterday, we did a little thing. We, meaning the Los Angeles Sparks, we traded our number 2 pick away for Miss Kelsey Plum. Let's clap it up, everybody. Clap it up. Yes. Okay. For those who don't know who Kelsey Plum is, she is probably one of the best combo guards in the W. She is a 2-time champion, top 3 or 2 in college scoring, an amazing human being. So when I heard the news, I found out like everybody else on Twitter. There was like conversations, around the league that she was going to be up out of Vegas. So those rumblings turned out to be very true. And I'm very excited. I think it's a good move for us. I think we kind of got bogged down in this rebuild mentality. And I think the only issue with saying you're in a rebuild is you don't like have very high expectations for yourselves or your team. And I think our team is better than that. So I'm just really excited that we brought a vet that's won championships, that's been an all-star, an Olympian. And for anybody who is concerned about my health all of a sudden, I am very much healthy. I've been healthy for the last year plus. Crohn's disease is something that is very hard to manage and control. And that is simply what I've been doing the last year. But I'm very much healthy, very much going to play this season. And I appreciate everybody's concern all of a sudden when they posted the potential starting lineup and I was in it. And everyone was like, is she gonna be healthy? Like, yes. I will be healthy, okay? Thank you, everybody. But autoimmune disease ain't nothing to play with. It's not like an injury. So just wanted to clear that up. Mariah, are the LA Sparks your new favorite team?
Well, I've been on your bandwagon for a minute now, Lexie. That don't, because when I first spoke to you and we talked about you're like, oh, we're rebuilding and blah, blah, blah. I said y'all were the baddies.
The LA baddies.
The LA baddies. I love y'all. But I will say I am glad that this happened because, like you said, if you get stuck in this, we're rebuilding, it's like, how do you build culture like that? And I feel like this move allows y'all to get into your bag of like building a real winning culture.
Yes. And culture, you hit it right on the head because culture starts with a foundation and no disrespect to anybody that has been on the team the last 2 seasons, but there just hasn't really been like a solid foundation. And that there's no one person or group of people to blame for that. That's like a collective struggle of figuring out what your identity is going to be as a team and what your culture is going to be. And when you have players coming in and out, injured, dealing with illnesses, it's very hard to do that. So I think they just wanted to bring in somebody that is reliable, somebody that will have a veteran presence in the locker room, and then someone who could just go hoop. Like Kelsey's a dog. So I'm really excited to play next to someone like that. She's been a pain in the ass to guard for years. So now I'm glad that I only will have to guard her in practice. So yeah, I mean, snaps for the Sparks. I had some words for them last episode. So they could get a flower today.
Things have really turned around since our last episode. Yeah. Also, speaking of free agency, what are some other predictions that you have, things that you are looking at as a player who it'll actually affect? I know I'm looking just for like team, but
of course you are. Well, if anybody doesn't know what free agency is, let me just say like just a quick rundown. So free agency is when players can go sign to another team in the offseason. So you have two main buckets, which is an unrestricted free agent and a restricted free agent. So unrestricted free agent can go sign to whoever team she pleases. She wants to leave. Nobody can tell her no. No one can stop her. She's gone. A restricted free agent essentially has to ask her current team for permission to sign to another team. And that team can tell her, no, you staying right here. And they do that by matching the money that the next team is offering. So if they choose to not match that money, then she's free to go. If they want to match it, then she must stay. So that is the gist of free agency. And
I always compare it to in dating, you've got the times where you're single and you can date whoever you want. Like you're truly single, you're exploring,
ready to mingle.
You can go get this guy. But restricted free agents are more like girls in situationships. Yep. Like you kind of want to be there, you kind of don't want to be there. You're exploring your options, but you still have this like weight that's like, that might decide to commit to you and also might let you go to somebody else.
Yeah, no, that's like a perfect example. Okay, now that you've made that analogy, I want you to compare when a team cores a player, what would you think that would be in dating? So when a team cores a player, they are an unrestricted or a restricted free agent, but they're basically like no, like you can't do anything. But we're gonna give you the world. We're gonna give you all the money that you want. But if you don't want to stay, we get to decide where you go. How would you describe that in a relationship?
In a relationship, I would describe that as purgatory, but
thank you. That's exactly what I needed you to say. Purgatory.
That is awful. That is purgatory. That is dating somebody who doesn't want you, but also doesn't want anyone else to have you.
Mariah, please. This is why we got the show together. Like, that is, guys, we did not even discuss this beforehand. Like, I just knew that she was gonna say it. It's jail, okay? So, coring players, guys, right? I know we're trying to get into the tea, but I gotta break down these terms for y'all. When you core a player, you are basically telling them you're stuck here, okay? I am gonna give you all the money, but you're stuck here. And yeah, you would think, oh, I get a Supermax 1 year. Like, that's amazing. That sounds great. But since I've been in the league, 9 times out of 10, that player does not want to be on that team anymore. And also 9 times out of 10, that player is also an unrestricted free agent. So not only is the team putting them in purgatory, they are also taking all of their decision-making away. And for me, what I've always had a problem with this core designation, I'm all for the girls get into the bag. So I'm always excited when I see a player get cored for that aspect, because that means she's finna get paid. But when you core a player on your team that doesn't want to be there, you must now sign and trade her. And unfortunately for other players in the league, you are now caught in the drama of this situation of a player not wanting to be on that team anymore. And now you get thrown into a trade that maybe you didn't want to be involved in, but the way the money aligns, you had to go. And that is my only beef with the core designations, because I think they're being misused by organizations. But at the end of the day, it is a business. So I understand why they do it. Like, it's literally the definitions of I'm leaving here with something. Like, you not finna leave me with nothing. Like, I get it from their perspective, but I hate it for, players like me, these mid-level, mid-tier, super talented, super valuable, but just the way the money is, they kind of sometimes get thrown into these core sign-and trades. So, yeah, purgatory. I'm glad you said that. And let's see. Plum was in purgatory, allegedly. Satu, who was publicly stated that she wants to be out of Dallas, is also in purgatory, being cored.
Didn't know that, but this makes sense.
Who else did they put in there? Not sure about Gabby Williams, if she's in purgatory, because she hasn't been super vocal if she wants to stay or go. She's in purgatory. These are the people that I know for sure. So I'm not going to put that purgatory stamp on any other unrestricted free agents, because I don't want to get in their business.
In trouble.
But so for those people who think that Plum was like shipped off, that was not the case. I think she was ready to move on. I think she did her time in Vegas, won championships, had an amazing career there. And, sometimes it's just time for a change. I don't know why people are so like up in arms about that. Like, it's like any other job, all right?
No, it makes sense. And she did what she would have went there to do.
Right.
This is like a new chapter of her career. Exactly. She won. It's fine. It's time to go do something new, get to build something kind of on her own, She gets to, out of the shadow of the whole Vegas super team narrative, she gets to go build something that is in a rebuilding stage. Yeah. So it's nice. I don't see why anybody wouldn't want that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's so funny because we see everybody complaining about all the NBA guys, like they're all trying to team up and win now and da 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 da. And like the girls in our league are doing the opposite. They're like, no, I want my own team. I want to go build something special. I want to do this. And I think like that's just like women in a nutshell. Like, I want to go do this myself. I want to go build something amazing. And I don't want anybody to like be able to take that accomplishment from me. So I think it's so interesting how like that move, even with Jewel, like, I mean, that's the other side of the trade. Jewel going to the Aces, new fans calling her a ring chaser. If y'all didn't know, she already has 2. You can't chase something you already have, okay? So it's just like Plum, a change of scenery is sometimes necessary. And I love that players now are empowered to be like, get me out of here. Because you should be empowered to do that. If you're not happy in a situation, you should be able to leave it. Like, we're seeing it right now with Jimmy Butler. Like, he's like, get me out of here. And
And the
like,
team also shouldn't want you there if you don't want to be there.
Exactly.
It's just a stain in the locker room. I mean, you could see it happening with the Heat.
Yeah.
It's a stain in the locker room. People are miserable. I couldn't imagine showing up to the locker room with somebody who literally said yesterday on Twitter they don't want to be here. I'd be like, bro, can you get him out?
Get him out of here. But like, that's what I was just saying. Like, I wish more people would like just be like, if I was at a job that I hated, but there was a job opening over there that is better for me, that wants me, you're just going to stay in that job? Which,
that's true.
Lucky for people with jobs that are not in professional sports, you could just you could quit whatever you want. We don't have that luxury of just being like, you know what, I want to go somewhere. I want to go somewhere that feels better for me. So I'm just going to go.
There also isn't the complications and regular employment of salary cap, positions, draft picks, being in the right position to win a championship. Like, you cannot want to be in your job, but you can't really speak to, okay, is the salary cap right? What picks do they have to offer? Like, that makes things
what does
a lot
the
more
ownership
complicated.
look like? Do they have an office for me to work in? Are they going to give me a computer?
Exactly.
They're going to give me a car, all these things. But yeah.
It's still like, it's complicated. I understand from the business perspective that they have a lot to work out, but with star players, you can figure that out.
No, exactly. And I think we haven't really seen this. I mean, people are calling this a blockbuster trade, and it really is. We've never really seen two stars at the same time ready to go after having so much success where they are. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. And I think that needs to happen more. There needs to be more seismic movements in the W to make excitement. But on the flip side, I do love seeing teams that are able to stay together and build something and win, which is why I did, even though, as a competitor, I was like, Vegas, please get off of our necks. But as a fan and someone who loves the W, like seeing that process, because I remember my second year, we were beating Vegas. Like, we were not even like, we were beating the crap out of Vegas in 2018, 19-ish. So to see that organization grow and be able to keep that team together and be so successful, it was nice to see. And it kind of lit a fire under the rest of the league, I think. So I think Kelsey did what she needed to do there. She's been there since they were in the San Antonio Silver Stars, guys. And if you didn't know, that was a team before it was. My dad actually used to coach it.
Wow.
Yeah. So she's been in the trenches with them. So I want everybody to just be happy for her that she's able to go start something new and fresh and be in LA
and
with
happy
us.
For the W. Like, that the Stars are getting to that point where they can be like, all right, I don't want to be here, and up and move. And then also the fact that it's spreading the love a little bit. Okay, we've seen Vegas go out and do it and be like that dynasty team in the W. Who's next? What could be next? What could be built next?
Right.
It's important for fan bases in those cities to have that. It's important for the players to have that, for the viewers. Have a little diversity.
Have a little diversity. Even after these WNBA finals, like, I remember when Vegas won their first one, everyone was like, oh, they finna win again. I don't feel that way about the Liberty, respectfully. And I do feel that the Lynx should have won that series. But they didn't.
Don't even get me started.
Oh, no, get started.
Don't even get me started. That really upset me. I really felt like, but I don't know. I feel like in all sports, I've been like a hater recently. Like, I don't want the Chiefs to win. I just haven't been wanting, I've been wanting underdog moments. Okay. But I really wanted.
Okay, guys, that's how we need to phrase certain things sometimes. We're cheering for the underdogs, okay? There is hate, and then there's, I want someone else to win, okay? And that's okay.
And I'm a super team hater, like big super team, even in the NBA, in NFL, regardless, super team hater. I just feel like, I mean, it's cool, it's cute. I don't know why I'm saying that because I actually rooted for the Aces a lot. But like in a sense, after a while,
but they're not
I
a
get
super
like,
team though. And I think even when, because when people say, because when they dropped Candace in there, they were like, oh, super team. They're like the Warriors. Like they built that team through the draft. But yeah, to people like a fan, like a new fan that is just like, oh my gosh, it's like this team is killing everybody. Like, yeah, they do look like a super team.
Okay, but the Warriors were a super team.
That one for the 2 years. Yeah, they were like,
they
here
were
y'all
a super
go.
team.
Like, here we go, run up through the league for 2
But
years.
here's what's interesting. Using that Warriors comparison, let's talk about this. What does this do for Asia's legacy if she goes out and wins it without Kelsey?
Yeah.
Is that a stamp for her? I mean, obviously Jewel's won too already, but
honestly, the thing about Asia is like, I just don't, what more does she need to do to be stamped? Like for someone this early in their career, like she's won all of the things and she's done it like very gracefully. So at this point, she's just like adding more to her legacy. I think she's stamped. I do think that there is going to be a level of expectation that they, as a whole organization, never had before because, they have had the same core group for so many years. But then on the flip side, I think they're going to get a little bit of grace for that because it's something new. But I think Jewel is a great piece for them. She's a completely different player than Plum. So it's going to be very interesting to see how she navigates that new system. But yeah, for Asia, like, I mean, if she went, I saw her Google commercial when they were like, oh, what's a GOAT or something like that. Like she already walking the walk, talking the talk. So, I mean, I think that's amazing. And I think the fact that, the best player in our league has that confidence, I think that's super important for us. So if they win a championship, which, again, as a competitor, no, we want to win a championship, but
100%.
I think it's going to be interesting. And I think there's a lot of players now in the spotlight that have legacies that they're building and defending and adding to. And I think more of them are getting attention now, which I'm very excited about because they all deserve those things. So it's going to be a fun summer. I'm excited.
I am too. I wonder, as a player in the W, I don't know if I'm overstepping by asking you this, but this is curious. I'm just curious. When you see things like the Fever building that crazy practice facility, is that something that impacts free agents and where they want to go?
Absolutely.
Is something like that?
Oh, for sure. And like I said, I've personally never been a free agent, but if I was a free agent today, I probably would not go to a team that doesn't have a facility. Let me add this. If I already was on a team with one. So the fact that Plum wanted to come here either means she doesn't care that much about it and she's going to be straight, like I'm managing to be straight without a facility, or a facility is on the way, So I'm going to think half full and hope that a facility is very much on the way. But yeah, that practice facility and amenities has leapfrogged in the checklist for free agents. I'm pretty sure I see the Ka and Tosh always tweeting and posting on Instagram, when they're in practice, hey, free agents, add all the free agents because they have a brand new spot. So I'm like, see, what are we going to do with that? We can't compete with that. So
you will be able to, because like you said, I truly believe, and not just because I'm on my first day as a full-time Sparks fan, that a practice facility is on the way, not only for y'all, but for all the teams that don't have one, because they're going to have to do that to compete and get good pieces.
Yeah.
That's going to be a trademark to getting free agents. And obviously in the future, like you said, you wouldn't go to a team that doesn't have one if you were already on a team that does. Well, once a majority of the team have one and there's 3 that don't, you're those 3 got to have one. So it's going to happen.
And don't let it
be,
don't let it be in a city that no one wants to be in either. Like, don't let it
Right.
be a double whammy like that. Like, nah, I don't want to be
Indianapolis needed that.
Needed
Because
that.
ain't nothing else there.
There's nothing there but hoop. And that's all that matters.
basketball.
But I will say, I don't know. I just feel like a practice facility is in fact coming. I'm going to manifest it for us. And yeah, I think it's necessary. I do think we have interested free agents though, from what I've been hearing. We have
Facility, no facility. You're in LA.
We're in LA. It's okay. This is my pitch to the free agents, okay? Free agents. If you like good weather, if you like a lot of fans at our games, if you like the beach, if you like to maybe see celebrities from time to time at our games, if you like to win, okay? Because I'm going to add that in there because we're going to win this season. Then you need to come to LA and build something. If you want to build something, help something, build something beautiful, you should come to LA.
I love your pitch.
Okay.
But anything else we should be looking out for as far as free agency is concerned?
Let's see. Let me bring up my free agent list right here. I think the streets are saying that one of the most interesting free agents right now is Dejanay Carrington from the Connecticut Sun. She is restricted though, right? And to piggyback off of her teammates, DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas are unrestricted free agents. So I think that they are both, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I will be though. I think they're both out of there. So I'm interested to see if, Connecticut, their superstars, Alyssa, DeWanna, Bree Jones, their core, JJ, Jonquel Jones already had left to the Liberty. Coach gone, core gone, no championship. Are they going to run it back? Maybe try to win this championship in this window that they might think that they still have? Or are they going to be like, you know what, Dejanay, this is going to be your show now, which I would love that for her. I think she's ready for it. I think it would be cool for her. But she might go somewhere else and want to win now. So she's definitely an intriguing one.
So whatever happens with her is basically contingent on what the two bigger stars decide to do with their unrestricted free agency.
I would think so. But she's restricted, so sense. It's like she's gonna be there. And there is a pecking order, unfortunately, for these free agency signings. You have to wait for one domino to fall. The Plum Jewel thing didn't really help anybody as far as the domino falling. They kind of just took the domino out, and there's still all these dominoes waiting to fall. So free agency starts February 1st, and I'm very excited to see where else. Who's on this list is freaking Diana Taurasi, which means she hasn't officially retired yet.
Girl,
Diana.
Just go ahead and do your announcement, queen.
If she doesn't retire this year, though, I wouldn't even blame her because the way they sent her out was disrespectful for one of the greatest players to ever play in the WNBA. It was just kind of like okay, bye. Like, thanks. Like, no, we knew, I will give her a little bit of blame because she didn't flat out say, like, this is my last season. So it wasn't like,
right.
It wasn't
that was going to be my rebuttal. How are they supposed to give a farewell?
Right, to someone who didn't say, farewell.
To someone who didn't retire. Yeah. Like, what are they supposed to do? It has to be a little awkward because they have to kind of, just in case she does decide to retire in the offseason, do something. But at the same time, if she doesn't, what, they going to do a whole parade and then...
Right, and then she's like, okay, just kidding. Let's do it again.
Like, no.
That's funny.
I think she'll retire, though.
I mean, yeah, but like she was just in the Olympics. Like she was just playing still. Like
that's true.
She was still getting buckets.
But I'm very pro retiring while you're still doing that.
Yeah, facts.
I'm very anti-retire. I don't want to see people, just as a fan, I don't want to see you at your worst when you leave.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to, like the Shaq thing. Like, I don't want to see you struggling. I'm like, dang,
he needs to get the hell on. No, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on retire.
Like, I don't want that.
Me either. That's literally been me. Like, I want to retire on my terms when I'm playing well, which but it's crazy. We were just talking with Cheryl Swoops yesterday because she's one of our analysts for Athletes Unlimited. And we had like a little kiki session with her, and they were asking her about like how the transition from WNBA to not playing anymore was. And she was just talking about how hard it was because she says it like sneaks up on you. Like, oh, I'll get ready next year. Oh, I'll be ready next year. And then she's like, and one day you wake up and someone is just better than you. And then they're like, all right, you gotta go. Bye. And that's Cheryl Swoops saying that. Like
that, yeah, that's heartbreaking.
So it's like if Cheryl Swoops went through that, we're definitely we're gonna go through that. I mean, she's trailblazer, greatest of all time in women's basketball, dealing with the transition of being ready to retire and not being ready to retire. So I think Diana Taurasi
it's easier said than done.
And I think she gonna be fine. Like she gonna be just fine. But I still don't really like how, if that was her last season, I was like, that wasn't really the victory lap that she deserves. So if she doesn't retire, I would completely understand and support it.
So she could do a real farewell
tour, but hopefully not at a max salary, because then that would be a little problematic. Not for us, because that's none of my business, because that's not my team. But you know what I mean by that.
Good point. Good point.
Let's see. We'll do one more intriguing unrestricted free agent. Oh, no, because we already talked about Phoenix. I'm gonna say no. We're gonna talk about Phoenix again. No, Satu, duh, because we don't know where she's going. And she's been playing in Unrivaled like she's auditioning for the entire league. So I'm not.
Which is sick about Unrivaled, because it's also against the people she could be playing against and or with. So it's like, all right, girl.
Yeah. And I've been seeing like where people think she would fit. And, there's like a lot of factors that go into where someone goes via trade, because a lot of things have to be in place for that to happen, like the salary caps and stuff. But like if salary caps didn't exist, I actually would love to see her in Seattle. And in the case that Gabby Williams does leave Seattle, I think Satu would be like a very good replacement at that position, playing with Skylar next to Nneka. She's been showing that she's been a consistent three-point shooter in the last few seasons. A lot of people have been saying New York is a good fit so she can be reunited with Sabrina, who she played at Oregon with. Wouldn't be mad at that either, but I don't want to just agree with everybody else. So I'm going to say she would be cool in Seattle, and we'll see. And then I think if Gabby is court, she's court. I mean, I wouldn't see why that wouldn't work. But they already have two max level players in Nneka and Skylar. So again, a lot of salary cap gymnastics goes on in the WNBA, guys. I don't think you guys really even understand. I could go on for hours about salary cap gymnastics. So I'm just hoping everybody ends up where they want to end up. And we have a great W season because of it. Because at the end of the day, we want everybody to be in a situation that is suitable for them. And I think that's not always going to happen. But if it can happen more times than it doesn't happen, I think that's for the best, honestly.
I'm really excited to see all of this play out. And I'm really excited for the season. Like, I'm excited to see how people fit in their new spots. I'm excited to see the chemistry changes, the coaching. There's so many coaching changes. How that impacts everything. Like, I'm just excited.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm excited too about the Mystics. They brought in a coach from Europe, which I don't think we've ever had that happen before. So I'm very interested to see if, one, that'll lead to more European coaches coming over here, and in turn, if that will lead to more European players coming to play over here. Because unlike the NBA, we do not have a lot of Euro players. And if we do, they're not like super dominating the league. So they're very good, don't get me wrong. Super good, super talented, super intelligent.
Well, everyone's good.
Yeah. But like, I'm not trying to be like, they're not as good as the men Europeans. No, they are incredible, but they don't always come over here because they don't want to. So maybe more European coaches, more money will give them more of a reason to come over here, which for me, like, I'm not ducking smoke, but that's going to be more competition for us. But I think
and more teams.
So I love the influx of newness, of boldness, of spiciness. I love it all because I think everything is just going to grow, and everything's going to grow.
I love it.
Yes. Oh, speaking of growing, we have to do our flowers.
Yes.
Today's who gets a flower. We're gonna pivot to the college girlies because one, they've been killing it, hooping, and two, they just have not been getting shown the love that I think they deserve, top to bottom. Like, you already know how they be doing South Carolina. Like, you already know how they be doing them, and now it's even worse. But I don't have time to get into that right now. But my flowers for today are going to go to 5 players right now that deserve a little shout out. They're not going to be your typical 5 that you guys are probably seeing on ESPN and on Bleacher Report and stuff. These are some I don't even want to call them under the radar because they are killing it. And I think that you guys need to start paying attention to them. So, number 1, we're going to do Taniyah Latson from Florida State. She's currently leading the nation in scoring. So you get a flower, girly. Number 2, Lauren Betts from UCLA. They are number 2 in the country right now. She just had a monster game against Maryland, which makes me happy. And she's 6'7", y'all, okay?
Insane.
So she's killing. Since I'm in Nashville right now, I got to show some love to my Vanderbilt girls who I actually got to watch practice back in October, and I was super impressed by them. So to see them, playing super well this season makes me really happy because I saw the work that they put in before the season even started. So Camille, I hope I'm saying her name right, Camille Pierre, who is a sophomore, and Michaela Blakes, who is a freshman, who just had 33 points over the weekend, I believe. So they're killing it at Vanderbilt. So keep your eyes out for Vanderbilt, okay, everybody? And then last but not least, for a flower, is Miss Harmony Turner at Harvard. So we got an Ivy League babe. She is top 10 in the country in scoring, I believe, right now. She had 41 points on Boston College, and she led her team to a win against Indiana, at Indiana, which I've played at Indiana. That is not an easy place to win in. So those are my 5 flower girls for today. Y'all tap in with them. They've been doing amazing things for their teams, for themselves. And none of them are draft eligible this year. I think maybe Lauren Betts might be. Oh, no, Harmony is. So tap in with them before they get to the next level. I've been tapping in with them clearly. So yeah, I'm excited for the game is in great hands. And I love tapping with the college girls and checking in on them and seeing what they're doing because the landscape is so different now. And the fact that they're able to still show up and do their job, which is play basketball, is very impressive. I don't know if I'd be able to focus on all of everything they focus on. Could you imagine doing what we were doing and then going to school?
No, when I look at Flauge, I'm like, how many hours in a day do you have, girl? You at practice, you rapping on stage, you doing it. But the thing is, I don't want that to sound like I'm saying, oh, like she's doing too much. Like how people be saying Angel will be doing too much. I'm saying that because it's impressive.
It's very impressive.
She's doing everything well.
And she's showing out on the court. She wasn't in my 5, but Flage's having a hell of a season right now. And I think more people need to acknowledge that amongst all of the other amazing things that she's doing at the same time, because impressive. She's never doing too much.
Well, we've talked about this privately, and we probably get into this in our next episode, but I will say I hate to see a girl get hate for being good at things off the court. That takes away from the fact that she's still doing good on the court.
Like, it just doesn't make sense. And whether she has like a good game or a bad game, like she's still getting up and putting the work in. You can't always control the outcome of games. Like, yes, it gets to a point where you can tell, okay, you might be doing a little bit too much. Like, and there's ways to adjust. But like the fact that people fix their lips to tell people to, again, it's giving shut up and dribble. And I don't like that.
Let alone professional athletes. Girl, bye.
It's giving shut up and dribble, and I don't like that. And I think, like you said, all the hours in the day, you utilize them how you want. Don't get mad at how someone else is utilizing theirs. Me and you both know we can do a lot in 24 hours. Mariah was literally in Paris a few hours ago, it seems like. And now she's here with me,
literally.
Kiking. And I'm grateful, and I love this. And we will see y'all next week.
Thanks for listening.